Limited late model driver Taylor Farlling, who was banned from Port Royal for not only this year, but next year as well as a number of other tracks in the region, has shared his point of view on what happened at the end of June, where he retaliated against fellow driver Dillan Stake. Roll this up over at stockcarreport.com. You can find the link in the description below. And here is what happened over on flowracing.com. You can see that I think this is Ryan Zook is in this black and yellow car up here at the top of the screen. And then you've got Stake here in this white car. And then Taylor Farlling is in the green and white car right behind him, the number 8 car right there. So let's see what happens right here. You can see Stake makes a mistake there, gets into Zook, loses his momentum, does a good job saving it. And then he clips the inside wall, pushes up, gets into Farlling. Farlling goes around. He then gets hit right here, smack right in the nose. He's obviously very frustrated and angry right here. He will get his car refired right there and sets off to hunt down Dillan Stake. Tries to get him here in turns 1 and 2. Stake is clearly hiding. He misses him, goes into the wall, and he will continue his hunt here. Drives all the way around turn 1, down the front stretch, and he will meet up with Stake, who comes to a stop here in turn 4, long straightaway at Port Royal. You can see there's some cars there stopping. For whatever reason, Stake stops right there too, and Farlling just goes up and over, monster trucks him, backs it up, and then does it again over the left front fender for good measure. Stake gets out of the car, confronts him, looks like some hands are thrown there, and then track officials eventually separate them. And I think Farlling will get up out of the car here as well. And then they start kind of like just shouting at each other for a little bit before things are settled down. Maybe not. Maybe Farlling stays in the car. You can see Stake clearly still, yeah, there he goes. There he is. He's out of the car now. I was right. Okay. So clearly still very happy, both shouting at each other, explaining what's going on. And Farley, you can see there, kind of waves it off. It's like not buying what Stake is selling him there. And then obviously they get separated. So that is what happened on the track. Following that, he was initially suspended by Port Royal for the rest of 2025 and the entire 2026 season. The track stated after a thorough review of the event and in accordance with Port Royal Speedway's personal conduct rules, it was determined that Mr. Farlling used his race car in an aggressive and dangerous manner, violating the track standards for driver safety and sportsmanship. The incident involved actions deemed by track officials as using a race car as a weapon, an egregious offense that the Speedway takes with the utmost seriousness. It then added that he was banned from all racing activity at Port Royal Speedway for the remainder of the 2025 season and the entirety of the 2026 season. Additionally, the track shared that he was issued a fine, although the amount was not disclosed, but it must be paid at the start of the 2027 season if he wants to compete, and the fine would be donated to the York County Racing Club's Injured Drivers Fund. After Port Royal banned him, Babs Motor Speedway also announced that it too had banned Farlling for the incident at Port Royal. The track's general manager, Colton Grouse said, "Our top priority is safety at our speedway, not just for our competitors, but for our fans as well as our employees. We continue to support our fellow speedways and uphold the suspension at Babs Motor Speedway." He was then banned from York County Speedway, Clinton County Speedway, Lincoln Speedway, and Williams Grove Speedway as well. So 6 tracks all together. In an interview with Turn 5 Turnaround on Facebook, Farlling shared his point of view, and this is what he said. "We got together over there in 1 and 2, and from the driver's seat, kind of from what I seen it just looked like I kind of got used up coming in there in 1 and 2, and I didn't know we hit the wall. We had an incident at another track, and it was kind of in the back of my head. It wasn't anything that really should have had anything to do with it, and I lost my cool. I shouldn't have. Went back to retaliate, and looking back at it now, I mean, I wish I would have just kind of stopped, took a breath for a minute, thought about it before doing it. We met over there coming off of 4. The exchange happened, but should have stopped and took a minute before acting the way I did. As for Stake, he was also interviewed by Turn 5. Turn around, they're actually sitting next to each other at a table. And Stake said, I made a mistake off of 4, and then I went into 1 and made another mistake. I mean, the contact's definitely all on me. I hit the inside fence and came up the racetrack. I know from his perspective, I understand we can't see in these cars very good. He had no idea that I hit the inside fence, but I did, and it just shoved me up the racetrack and into him and caused him to turn. I feel bad for tearing his stuff up, plus everyone else that was involved. I'll take full responsibility on the wreck. I just went in there, hit the wall, and went up the racetrack. Ahead of the interview, Farlling stated over on Facebook, at the end of the day, it comes down between Dillan and I, and we would just love for this to be put to rest. I reflected on this situation a lot from when it happened, and I do not have any intention of ever having something like that reoccur. So obviously, Farlling recognizes that what he did was wrong. He clearly regrets it and does not want to do it ever again. I was a little bit disappointed with the interview with Turn 5 Turnaround that they didn't ask him about what his thoughts are on the suspensions from the various tracks, which they had actually asked him about that, or even asked Stake about that if he thought it was fair. I've obviously shared my opinion on that in a previous video. And in case you haven't seen that, I thought the penalties were severe, extraordinarily severe. I think I would have been fine if he was suspended for the rest of the year for this year, 2025 at Port Royal. I don't think he needed to be suspended for 2026. I thought that was just way over the top. And then I thought it was ridiculous that the other tracks are suspending him for something that didn't even happen at their tracks, especially when it seems pretty clear to me that he's not going around doing this. He's not a repeat offender. This isn't something that he's made a habit of doing. And he clearly, I think, is showing contrition here as well. So I think maybe these tracks should maybe rethink banning Taylor Farlling for this. I think that's just utterly, I just find it just kind of ridiculous and almost appalling. I think it's an injustice. That's what's been done to him. But nevertheless, while he's been banned at 6 tracks, it has not stopped him from racing. He competed at Port Royal Speedway in his limited late model and finished in 3rd behind Trent Merkel and Gunnar Walls. On Sunday following the race, he thanked his sponsors and friends who have stuck with him, as well as the tracks who gave me a second chance to redeem myself. He added, I love this sport, and I plan to make a better example for it from here on out. So obviously learned a tough lesson, clearly is growing from it, and is looking forward to not doing it again and staying committed to the sport. And kudos to Port Royal Speedway for not banning him and allowing him to continue to race. Because again, I think that is a total injustice. But that is what Taylor Farlling had to say. That was his point of view. Again, a little bit disappointed we didn't get to hear about kind of his thoughts on being banned by Port Royal for the rest of this year, as well as next year, and then all the other tracks kind of piling on. Would still like to know what he thinks about that. But we did get some information here about his point of view from the wreck, as well as kind of his contrition and his reflection on what he did afterwards, right? On his retaliation, clearly understanding that what he did was wrong. So again, hopefully these tracks will maybe look at some of this stuff and reverse these, I think, egregious bans that they have issued him. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below.